Hello and Guru Scott. On this video I'm going to show you how to replace the cartridges on a older style Delta two-handle faucet. This is vintage around 2002 and it's a pretty easy job to do. Just make sure you turn off the water first. On my case I've turned it off to the entire house because there's not a user service valve easily accessible underneath where the tub is. It's all blocked in. So some of the tools you're going to need are a 3/32 Allen wrench, or you might call it a hexagonal stick wrench. And we're going to need some Krytox O-ring grease. And I'm going to use a pair of small water pump pliers to get the cartridge out. And I've already had it out now, and I'm going to kind of describe how to do the job. So let me get a couple things together and I'll be right back. So the first thing you're going to have to do is get this retaining ring off, or retaining nut. And the problem is when it's down inside of this flange, you can't really get to it with a socket because the clearances are too tight, even with a thin wall socket. So I used this water pump pliers and carefully grabbed it on the lip here and took it loose. And in my case it came loose pretty easily because last time I serviced this I put Krytox on the threads, so it was easy to service. And the problem in this case is I have a stem leak. You can see possibly where it's been leaking out the stem. So when you open the valve, water comes out all around here and flows all around. So I want to rectify that by putting in a new cartridge assembly. And this is Delta part number RP25513. And I'm also going to replace the seal and the spring that are down inside here. So I'm going to take those out. You can just use an Allen wrench to get to them. And so that's what the little rubber seal looks like. I usually replace the springs at the same time. So I'm going to go grab those parts out of my parts bin. And the spring is kind of conical. And what you do is you put this piece on it, and then I actually put an Allen wrench through it and use the Allen wrench to guide it so it won't fall apart while I'm putting it in there. And then I insert it in and push it down. And then I'll install the cartridge assembly. So I'll get all that ready and I'll come back and show you that part. So I forgot to mention the part numbers for the faucet seats and the springs. These come in master plumber packs like this. And the springs are DRP 3427 MBS. And that stands for like a master plumber's pack. And the seats are DRP 1806 MBS. And you get 24 pieces per pack, which lasts me about a year because I have a lot of Delta faucets in this particular house. And so what I'm going to do is install the new seat and spring, and I will put some Krytox on this nut, on the threads, and I'll take one of these out of the package and Krytox the O-ring, and then I'll get it all ready and I'll insert it and I'll show you how I've put it back together. Okay, so as I've mentioned, I put some Krytox grease on these threads. I put the new cartridge assembly in. If you took it out and you left it in the same orientation, you'll be able to put it back in the same orientation. And it has some little pieces here so that you can either put it this way or this way, but you can't put it in any other way. So mine's all set up to go the way it should be. So I'm just going to simply put this nut back on top and thread it down. And then I'm going to take my channel locks or water pump pliers and I'm just barely going to snug it down. It doesn't need to be super tight. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to take the handle and put it on with the 3/32 wrench. But what I usually do on the handle is while I have it off is I take the locking screw out and I'll put some Krytox grease on those threads so that it won't get stuck in there, because that's a common problem, as you'll find out. And so I'll get that snug down and then I'll do the other one and we'll come back and test it after that. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've finished assembling both the hot and cold faucets and I'm ready to try it out and see if it works. So here we go. Okay, that one works nice and smoothly. And that one works nice and smoothly. If the handle is in the wrong direction, in other words, if it's not turning on correctly, just simply take out that cartridge and turn it around. And for the bathtub faucets, you don't put that little extra plastic piece in like you do on your sink faucets. I have dealt with sink faucets also, and I have a companion video you can watch on that. Also, if you can't get the set screw out, you can try to drill it out. I've had to do that in the past, and then use an easy out on it, or just drill it out all the way up to the thread size and then re-tap it at the original thread size. It's not too hard to do. It just takes a while. You have to use a side drill. And you can also buy these handles on Amazon. You can buy all the replacement parts on Amazon fairly inexpensively. So that's typically what I do. I usually buy them in bulk. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Tschüss.